Everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to see the detailed analysis of mediation, and we will learn the mediation analysis using the process macro in SPSS. So before we start performing the analysis in SPSS, we should be familiar about the concept of the mediation. So the conceptualization is important, and for that purpose, we will see in detail what is the mediation and what are the practical examples in order to understand fully. Okay, before we start using the process macro to run the mediation analysis, let's go through in detail what is meant by the mediation, what is the conceptualization of the mediation. So in order to understand the mediation, first I'll give you an example of mediation. And for example, when we say that smoking causes cancer, so maybe in your mind, uh, as a researcher, as a scientist, may occur that maybe smoking cannot directly cause cancer. There might be some underlying variables due to which the smoking actually causing cancer. Initially, of course, there is some sort of association between smoking and cancer, but uh, considering what are the other underlying factors that could actually transmitting the impact of smoking towards cancer. So we can say that lifestyle is a variable considered as a mediating factor that is actually bringing the uh, causal effect from the smoking into the cancer. When we define the mediation, it means that mediation is a variable that is actually work as a process and actually defining the relationship between independent and dependent variable. Mediation, in fact, means that a variable that is actually explaining the relationship between independent and dependent variable. For example, when we say that smoking causes cancer, so as a researcher, you should you as a researcher you might say that there could be other underlying reasons due to which smoking is causing cancer. So maybe you come up with a new variable that is the lifestyle, and you know that lifestyle uh, could be explained as a mediator between smoking and cancer. The variable which is the lifestyle that is actually causing cancer, and lifestyle will work as a mediator. And lifestyle, contains uh, various factors, including eating junk food, not doing exercise, not getting full sleep, and there are other habits which are actually causing your health and which directly actually causing the cancer. So along with the smoking, if someone having a lifestyle which is not actually healthy, so we can say that it will be leading towards the cancer. Let's take another example. So when once we say that laborers become skillful, so we know that there should be some mechanism when labor becomes skillful, and training is a variable that is explaining the relationship between labor and uh, their 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 process of getting new skill set. And when we observe the nature closely, we can say that seeds are not becoming trees automatically, but there are underlying transformational mechanisms. There could be many that work as a mediating factors. There are many examples from the field that we can take in order to understand the mediation. For example, in the marketing, we can say that only running campaigns could not increase the sales. There might be some underlying variables. For example, in this case, the awareness is important. So awareness will work as a mediating variable in between the campaign and the sales. And in supply chain, delivering products to the customer uh, required some logistic sports. So this sort of sport actually enable organizations to deliver the products to their customers easily. So finally, we can say that leadership uh, improves the employee's performance through the training process. And here in this case, the training works as a mediating variable. So finally, we can say that the mediation actually explains the relationship between two variables. Okay, let's see another example. For instance, we might have an observation that entrepreneurial environment causes entrepreneurial intentions. So, as a researcher, you might inquire that should be a mechanism through which the entrepreneurial environment actually causing entrepreneurial intentions. So, as a researcher, you might say that there should be a underlying mechanism. There should be some uh, mediators that are causing entrepreneurial intentions. Or after doing the literature review, you may come up with a unique variable, suppose the social environment or the social factors. And again, when you come up with the mediating variable, or you have to actually support this mediation by using some theoretical framework or by using some theory. So again, this is the actual contribution of the researcher when one attach or align the mediating variable with some theoretical perspective. Okay, now let's see. There are two diagrams that you can see here. So we want to see the impact of X on Y through a mediating variable. So in the first diagram, when you see, this is the simple linear regression model in which you are just seeing the impact of X on Y, and this effect is denoted by the C. And when we introduce is a new variable, a mediating variable, so here you can see that there are actually three paths that could be observed. So one path is X effects on mediator, which is denoted by A path, and the mediating effect on the dependent variable, which is denoted by B, and uh, X effect on Y, which is a direct effect. This is denoted by C prime. So in order to understand the mediation process, let's take an example here. And the example which I am using in this video is taken from one of the research paper published in the PLOS One. Autonomous motivation mediates in between task orientation and intentions to continuous support. So in order to test this mediation, we are going to use the process macro. And detail of this paper you can see here. Actually we are going to run this analysis by using the dataset that is actually not the exact dataset which is used in this research paper, and this dataset I have accessed from Mike Crowson video, the mediation analysis. So what we are going to see is that we are going to see the effect of the task orientation on the intentions to continue sport by using mediating variable, which is the autonomous motivation. And here we can see that we are interested to see the mediation role in relationship between these two variables, the independent and dependent variable. Okay, this is the data set where you can see the variables, and here the ego, task orientation, there is one a control variable, autonomous motivation, and this is the intention variable. So we are just going to use here the independent, dependent, and one mediator variable. So this is the conceptualization of this model that we are going to test is about. We want to see that the information related with the sport uh, uh, and about its its related details. For example, if someone is interested or having knowledge about a particular sport, say for example the cricket. So if you know the rules and the related knowledge and skills of a sport, there are chances that your intentions to play this particular sport will be high. But here in this paper, we are trying to conceptualize this model by using or introducing one mediating variable, that is the autonomous of the motivation, which works as a mediating variable. And this model I have shown you earlier. So we are not going to use the ego variable. We are just focusing upon the on the model that we are going to test. Okay, now let's run the test. So what you have to do is you have to go to the analysis part, and you will be going the process entry phase, uh, and just clicking on this, this new screen will be pop up on your screen. Here you have to actually select the related variables according to their positions in this tab. So we know that the independent variable is the task orientation, that is our x, and the y is the intention, and we are using the autonomous of the motivation as the mediator. And you know that we are actually running mediation, and this is model number 4, uh, that is given by the entry phase, and we are using the 95% confidence interval here. Further we need to go to the options and just select total effect model and standardize effect mediation model, and press continue and just press OK. So once you press OK command, so the output screen will appear in front of you. Okay, now the results will be shown to you. So now let's explore the mediation analysis and the related outputs uh, in this process framework that we have used. So basic informations are given, the model which we are using, the dependent variable, independent, and the mediating variable. The total sample size in this study is 269. And look at the first model in which task orientation impact has been observed uh, on the autonomous variable, autonomous of motivation variable. And you know that this is the path A in the framework, and see the coefficient value, which is 1.511, and p-value shows this is the significant value of the coefficient. And other information is also given, r square value, that is 0.1731, which is actually explaining that this variable is causing approximately 17% variation in the mediating variable that is autonomous to the motivation. And here f test is also showing the significant uh, effect as the p-value is less than 0.05. And in the next model, we are actually having two variables, which is in this particular model, these two variables are considered as the independent variable, in which the task orientation, then the motivation, autonomous of the motivations, is taken as the independent variable. And we can see that the coefficient values, and here only the autonomous of the motivation is showing the significant impact on the overall intention to play a particular sport, and task is actually not uh, creating an impact, but the significant impact on the dependent variable. And this we can see that here the p-value is not less than 0.05. So you know that we want to see the role of the mediating variable, which is the autonomous of the motivation, as a mediator in between the independent and the dependent variable. And for that purpose, here I'm directly going to see the indirect effect. So this actually is the indirect effect actually will address whether the mediating variable playing its role or not. And the way through which you analyze this result is that you just have to see the effect the mediating variable is causing 0.2021 effect in the dependent variable, that is intentions to play a particular sport. And what you have to do is you have to just analyze that uh, uh, if there is no zero in between lower and upper bound, so we can say that this is the significant impact of the mediating variable towards the dependent variable. So if there is a zero in between lower and upper bound value, it shows that this mediating is not significantly explaining the impact on the dependent variable. And in the same model, you can see also that the direct effect of x on y, again this coefficient value is showing is insignificant impact on the dependent variable, because you can see that one value is the -1 and the upper limit value is the positive. So there is a zero between. So this is not significantly explaining uh, the impact on y when we see the direct effect. So direct effect is actually not showing the significant result. So in this case, we can say that there is a complete mediation, because the mediating hypothesis or the mediating the coefficient value, the effect value shows the significant result that we have just observed in the indirect two when we interpret the indirect effect result. But in case when x we see the direct effect on x on y, which is showing insignificant, because in between lower and upper limit we have observed that there is a zero. So in this case we will say that there is a complete mediation in this framework. So vice versa, if we come up with the significant effect uh, in case of the when we check their direct effect, so there is a possibility that the direct effect also comes significant. So in this case, when the mediating hypothesis and the direct effect both are significant, so in this case we come up with the conclusion that the model is showing the partial mediation. But in our case, we have this picture that we have actually the results are actually depicting this picture where we have seen that the mediator is showing significant effect, but the direct effect is insignificant.